Hello everybody, and welcome back to Animal Crossing New Leaf. Welcome Amiibo. It's still very hot. It is super hot, if you will. From Lobo. What does Lobo have for us today? You gotta have the things in your life that get you to tomorrow, but you also need some fancy stuff like this gift here. Enjoy it for what it's worth, which is a lot. Alright, it's worth a lot. A TV with a VCR? Yeah, that's probably worth a lot these days. Alright, my shovel's gonna be way down here now. Does that fit into the spot that we have our fancier TV? I forgot to turn my webcam on. There I am. Oh, I forgot to even zoom it in. This is a day. I just woke up not long ago, and it likes to reset itself for some reason. Zoom. Okay. Does this... Oh, it's so small. I was hoping this would be a bigger TV. Hold on, I have an idea for it. It's called the upstairs. Ooh, I wonder, can you put it on a table? Yes. There we go. I'll just put the lamp over here, because, like, who needs a lamp on a table when you can just have it on the floor? Like, bam. That's gonna, like, mess up watching things, but, like, at the same time, it's a TV with a VCR in it. Like, it's pretty cool. I was never fond of those, just from, like, the thought of, like, man, that VCR must be really strong to have the TV sitting on it. Because, like, I grew up with that style of TV, the CRTs. Like, those things are heavy. I would not have put them on anything. Like, we had a desk, like, table thing, like a TV stand, that had, like, grooves in it from where the TV had been sitting on it. It's like the beginning of another beautiful day. So what can I do for you? It's the latest. What do Punch and Gabby say about their relationship? They seem to spend a lot of time arguing with each other, rather other than making up. Sort of thing would wear me out. I guess we gotta try and make sure they become friends. Now, I do want to do something really quick. Oh hey, here's our gem rock. I want to change our town tune. So, I'm going to do that. I'm going to be setting it to default 4. Because I like default 4. I'm pretty sure that's the one we had beforehand. But I'm not sure. So. Let's come do that. So, I will probably jump cut through this because I am very awkward at dealing with the music bit. But, yeah. How you do it is you talk to Isabelle and then you go to town tune. And then you got this in front of you. It's a lot, so I'm gonna jump cut until I get to what I need. Okay, this should be right. So it'll basically be this now. Which I'm pretty sure is what I had before. I could be wrong, but... Because there is, like, 4 defaults, so... But that sounds right. Start using it right away. Now, in case anyone's, like, worried something's really, like, going on, it's, Kathy's little sister has basically... I wouldn't say, like, grown out of love with Peppa Pig, just, like, there's things about it that, like, she doesn't like now, so, like, we're changing the theme for a bit. It might change back at some point. It might not. It'll all be up to her. So... You know, unless I use, like, the town tune as, like, a design contest kind of thing. Which, like, if I was a bigger channel, I would probably do. Because, like, I just feel like that's kind of fun. So. I am not musically inclined in the slightest. I could probably make something that sounds okay to listen to, but, like, I'm not musically inclined, like... So, like, I wouldn't be able to, like, recreate a song or anything. I would just be like, here's some notes that don't sound terrible. Like... But, trying to now think of things to, like... ramble about. I suppose one thing I can make mention of is I've finally seen some benchmarks for the 5800 XT, and yeah, I don't really care about it either. I was hopeful I'd care about either of those parts, but I really don't. Like, if the 5900 XT was, like, cheaper, it would be a no-brainer. Like, it would be what I would be going with. Because it absolutely kicks the butt of my CPU at production workloads. It loses in gaming, but it absolutely kicks my CPU's butt in production workloads. And if it was cheaper, it would work. But where it's pretty expensive, no. Bunny, hello, pizza bun. Do you want to talk about? Let's chat. I shook a tree the other day and money fell out of the branches. I was all like, whoa! I don't know who put it in there, but I figure it's a karmic payback for all the good things I do. Totally kidding, but seriously, you should shake the tree next time you can. Who knows what'll happen? Bees. Bees will happen. Bees like to happen when you shake trees. And I have too many flowers for shaking trees. But, yeah, the 5900 XT is basically exactly a 5950X, just with a T on the end, basically. Like, that's basically it. It's minorly slower, but not by enough to even notice, as in they have fundamentally the exact same performance in every workload. The 5900X costs as much as the 5950 XT. Well, not XT. The 5900 XT costs as much as the 5950X. Numbers. Too many fives. Like, that's not great. And, like, I know there's so many people like, oh, this is a weird move for the consumer-focused AMD. It's like, it's kind of not. Like, these parts do serve a purpose. Because, like, the 5800 XT is a minorly overclocked 5800X. So, basically, it's a 5800X you could probably overclock yourself and get even more performance out of. So it's more for the budget enthusiast who's still on AM4 who just really wants to overclock a CPU. You know. Then the 5900 XT, well, the 5950 isn't exactly the most common of CPUs. So, like, there's not that many of them around on the market, so having more on the market means more chance of people buying them, and let's be real, it's not a bad, like, production workload CPU. If you're still running an AM4 computer and you need to upgrade your production capabilities, but don't have the nearly $1,000 to move on to AM5. I don't know why I was completely struggling to speak there. Then, you know, it's a pretty good option for you. It's not the best option in the world. There's definitely better options. Like, you know, just saving up your money and continuing to use whatever you're using till you can get onto AM5 with a much better production chip. But, you know, I mean, heck, even if you want to go as far as, like, so I know there was, okay, it's Rooney and, Bella. Ah, Pookie punches. Stayed up late last night, now I'm sleep deprived, as in yawn. I know that feeling. Need something, what's the latest? Gabby came to my place staying out the other day, looks like something got left behind. Yeah, I can take her shirt back to her. Because that's probably what this is gonna be. Yep. Hello, Bella. Oh, found you at last. Hey, how about a game of hide and seek? No one's better at hiding than I am, Glorp. Sure, I'll play. Awesome. Let's start right away. I'll round up anyone else who can play right now, too. Okay, Sky and Rooney. So Bella's gonna be the hard one to find. And I have 10 minutes. Alright. Like, I could even see a use for, like, something like the 5900 XT as, like, a... We gotta make sure that Grandpa's computer doesn't need any changing between now and when he kicks the bucket. You know. Because nothing's more difficult than convincing an elderly relative that their computer needs upgraded. You know. So if you can get them an upgrade now, that's gonna last them, you know, the rest of their life probably, because they're not really doing much with their computer to begin with. Keep it nice and snappy for them, then, you know, there's an argument to be made there. A 5600 would do the same thing, but, you know, the 5900 XT would give a slight bit of extra security at least. Hey Fuchsia, I would stop and talk to you, but I don't exactly have time at the moment. Because Bella only gave me 10 minutes. Yep, there's still 2 more people hiding. And I've basically narrowed them down to the top part of town until they start moving. Okay, well there's Bella. Now it's just Sky. No, you got me fair and square, Schmoopy. Thought it was totally seek-proof, Glorp. I mean, to be fair, you probably would be if you stood behind a bush. Like, you just gotta hide behind bushes, and then you'd be pretty much invisible. Given bushes, for whatever reason, don't ever go transparent. Let's see, where are you, Sky? She has probably moved at this point. Hmm. I have no idea where she is. Maybe she took the advice I just gave to, Bella, and she's just hiding behind a bush somewhere. Just knelt down. Hiding in the bush. That was always fun. Like, hiding, like, underneath a bush. Yawning. And here I was thinking that Bella would be the hardest one to find. Sky is proving to be the most difficult. I might actually lose this game of hide and seek. Because I am at a loss of where Sky could be. Plot twist, she's actually cheating. It would be pretty on brand. Yeah, given she's a wolf and all. Yeah, I am not seeing her anywhere. Where are you, Sky? I don't get it. Where could she be? I have been everywhere. Unless she's moving just that much and I can't, like, sprint, so she's always moving before I get there because I have too many flowers around town. I don't even know if it was ever confirmed that they actually move, or if it was just, like, a theory that got spread around, like, playground rumor style. Where is this large blue wolf? Like, jeez. I'm at a loss for where she could be. Like, I'm so confused. She's not up here. Where haven't I been? This is kind of annoying. Like, I've been around this entire town twice now. That's Rooney. So she probably wouldn't be around here because Rooney's right here. No, no, get off the stump. Yeah, I'm gonna lose this hide and seek because Sky is just despawned. Like, I refuse to believe she is in this town. She is nowhere. She just isn't here. I don't get it. Where could she even be? Can they hide on the beach? I think I've been through this before, and they've been hiding on the beach. Yes. Yeah, you kind of did, because I keep forgetting that y'all can hide on the beach. Because that's a real beach. Got a victory prize. Here's a toaster. Oh, man. Toast. Okay, now I really need to check my turnips. That took so much longer than it needed to. There's probably a few of you that were just like, go check the beach. It's like, yeah, but they shouldn't be able to hide on the beach. It feels cheaty. Okay, what are my turnips? 67. So I need to come back in the afternoon. Right, I still need to deliver this thing to Gabby, get these fossils identified, come sell my stuff. I have a lot I still need to do today because I got distracted with that hide-and-seek game. Hopefully Gabby is still around here. And I didn't talk to Fuchsia either, and I feel kind of bad about that. So I'll need to make sure we talk to Fuchsia today. There she is. So I need to talk to her twice. Did I say you really wanted a rocking horse? I mean, I don't really want one, but I'll take it. It's a deal. I know what I can do with a rocking horse. But hey, I do have something for you. Delivery! Left your shirt at Rooney's. Or at least it's probably a shirt. How you say this is something I left over at Rooney's house? Yep. Hey, my dapper shirt! Thought I'd lost it for good, so I bought a new one. Do I need two? Sure, I'll take it. I'll ignore the weird stains. I should stop making jokes like that. Sorry. It's just always a bit funny when, like, animals just somehow leave their shirts at each other's houses. Like, what else am I supposed to think? Like, I'm really trying to think of things to, like, ramble about that isn't gonna, like, lead to me rambling for, like, an hour. But yeah, it has pretty much solidified if I do, like... If I do, well, when I do upgrade, not if I do. Like, I'm probably gonna be going to AM5. It's just, like... There's not much more AMD can get out of AM4, and that's pretty clear. Like... They've kind of reached the capacity of that socket, which is fair, and they did it without blowing up their own CPUs by putting too much power through them. So, you know, +1 AMD, -2 Intel. I mean, another +1 to AMD is just simply that AM4 is still getting new chips. I mean, that platform is, like, I think over a decade old. I think the first generation Ryzens were like 2013-ish. So like, it's an old platform and they're still putting chips on it. Intel's socket from that era, they literally did a V2 of it that you can't put the CPUs from the older version 1 of the socket into the V2 socket. Like, that... They literally went out of their way to reduce the lifespan of that socket by making a V2 of it. That... You basically only can't use the V2 CPUs in the V1 socket because they're locked out in the BIOS. And, like, Chinese BIOS hackers ended up making it work. So they are basically running V2 boards with the V1 CPUs. Right, need to talk with Rooney. What's up? I delivered it. Thanks for making the delivery to Gabby. So, anything said? Yes, actually. Gabby already bought the same thing. Man, I should have sent it sooner. Yeah, you should have. But yeah, I need to come back later in today, so... hey, Fuchsia, let's talk with her really quick. Hey girl, made myself get up early so you wouldn't outshine me. Yawn, so sleepy. So anyway, do you need something? I want to chat. The other day I was reading this interior design magazine. There was an article putting your stuff on your other stuff. Pretty good piece, actually. Got me thinking about how I've had my same flea in my room forever. To make a change, it seems like a good place to start. Come across anything that... Alright. I will see what I can do. Yeah, I'm back. After the awkwardness that was this morning, yeah, I'm feeling it, my man. I actually do have something I want to ramble about today, and I know this morning was like 20-some minutes. Today's gonna be a chonker. So... Oh. Hello, Gabby. Hey there, Pookie. Didn't you say you wanted a blue chair? So you wanted a while ago, but I just remembered I never used mine. Do you? Sure. Oh, good. Here you go. All yours, pizza bun. I'll take your blue chair. So happy I could put a smile on your face. I know I said this already, but I've really only used it once. Alright. Like, I've mentioned in community posts and in videos about the Stop Killing Games movement. That first note's wrong. That first note is wrong. Let's sell the blue chair. I want to keep the rocking horse. I should actually put that in a letter so I don't, like, accidentally sell it. I have an idea for it. Turnip price 63. But, like, I've mentioned the Stop Killing Games movement, and basically what it wants to accomplish, of games no longer being able to be taken away from you just because the developer doesn't feel like supporting it anymore. Well, see, here's kind of my take on this. Based on a game developer, which I say that in kind of heavy quotes, but I don't want to be totally rude to this person. Just a little rude to them. I won't name, because I don't want to be that kind of guy. I say after having, like, talked about potato quality a bit. Yeah, fine. It's, Thor, Pirate Software, I think his company is, or whatever. Yeah, Pirate Software. Basically, his opinion is that it's unfair to developers that they should have to develop their game so that you can continue to play the game you paid for after they no longer want to support it. And that the only way he could get behind the Stop Killing Games initiative and movement would be if, as part of it, any monetary issues that this may cause for game developers is covered by something. I have to question, Thor. Have you played games before, like, 5 years ago? Ever play a console game? You know, like, quite simply, like, have you played anything? I'm honestly questioning that at this point. This is the same game developer that has the opinion that regional pricing is great and all, because he makes most of his revenue from poorer countries, selling his game to them for next to nothing, yet still sells his game for full price in richer countries because they can afford to pay it, so they should pay more for it anyway. Telling me that he just cares about the bottom line, because if he's making most of his revenue from places that aren't paying full price, He doesn't need to charge full price for his game now, does he? Like, so many of his arguments can be easily kind of torn apart by just simply going into gaming history. You know, actually knowing what you're talking about. Like, I could fire up... I'd have to grab my old laptop, because that's where it's installed, but I could fire up my old copy of Diablo 2 Lords of Destruction. Contact, you know, a friend I have that also has a copy of Diablo 2 Lords of Destruction. Pretty sure it's still installed. We'd probably have to reinstall Hamachi, because I'm pretty sure I don't have Hamachi currently installed on my computer, or my laptop, and he probably doesn't have it installed on his computer anymore either. And then we could play online together. No problem. Or, you know, I could just go visit him, or he could come visit me, and we could just play LAN properly. Because the multiplayer of that game still exists and works. Even though Blizzard no longer actively supports that game. Because, quite simply, it was just designed that way. Sure, the online servers, the Blizzard servers, no longer exist. They don't need to. The customer's allowed to just host it themselves. Like, there's no extra cost to the developer if they just develop their game smartly in the first place. Which is also one of his things with his complaints about this initiative is, oh, well, it would be unfair for developers to have to patch a game from, like, 2004. Well, it's a good thing they wouldn't have to. Because that's not part of the initiative. The initiative only covers new games. And as can also be pointed out by people a lot smarter about this stuff than I am, more eel. Okay, I thought that was actually new because it just wasn't loaded in the buffer. But, in general, when, say, even a new law passes, it doesn't go into effect right away. You have some time. Because, you know, people need to learn about it first. So, if this initiative were to pass in the EU, which is where the main, you know, initiative is right now, if it were to pass tomorrow, it probably wouldn't go into effect until 2026, 2027. Maybe even 2028. You'd have time to sort out your new games that are in development. Like, this wouldn't retroactively apply. That's not what anyone's looking for. Because it's understood that that would be unreasonable. Let's be real, most games from 2004 already work like that, though. This is a new problem that the games industry has created because I don't even know what they gain from this. I mean, with The Crew, I suppose technically part of its always online bit was an anti-piracy measure, and the game was never cracked, so good job. But the game could still be making the money if it was still sellable. If people could still buy it. Like, they wouldn't even have to be actively supporting the online server anymore. They could remove that anti-piracy measure and just keep the game for sale. And just shut down their servers about it. And not have a problem. Then, like, the argument comes up of, well, there's some coding and such that's used under license. And they can't just, you know... Can I even swap out a fish at this range? Yes, I can. Okay. Like, well, there's some code that's licensed that they can't just give away. Like, that's not part of the license. They can only use it. It's like, okay, well, one, there is a way of effectively black boxing things on computer. It's called you encrypt it. If you have encrypted it to the best of your ability, you probably still fall within the purview of the license you've agreed to. Like, if it's not readily available to the consumer to actually see what is, what that code is, then you've not given them the code. You know? Like, you can black box it, for one. For two, this never seemed to be a problem in the past. Could it be because developers in the past wrote their own code? Could it be that game developers didn't used to be incredibly lazy like they seem to be today? I mean, not only do we have examples of games being horribly optimized because game developers seem to have forgotten what compression is. Also, I need to see if I can fix this town too. This is not right. It's gonna bug me. I still have the thing up. Did I maybe use the wrong first note? That's not the page I wanted to open. This is. It's about... it's the first note that's the problem. Let's... What if it's this? Yeah, that seems nicer. Let's give that a try for a while. See how that feels. Yeah, I feel like that's what it should be. I could be completely wrong on that, but that feels nicer. I can always just change it again, if that's still not right. But, I'm not gonna sit here and just completely shit on the games industry. I'm sure there are some legitimate hurdles that would make this a bit difficult with how game development is currently being done. The problem is, this wasn't always an issue. So maybe the games industry needs to take a good long look at itself and figure out where these issues are coming from that makes it so difficult for them to do things the way they've always done things. You could probably still LAN play Quake. You could probably set up your own private server to play Doom online. Why is it such a problem now? And, arguments will be made. Well, in the case of, say, maybe the crew had some licenses with car manufacturers. It's right, but those licenses were probably to use the model and, the make and model of those cars and the logo of the car manufacturers. It was probably an in perpetuity license because that's generally how it would work. And if it wasn't a case of that, then all the license running out would mean is that Ubisoft would not have been able to sell the crew past that point. It wouldn't make the crew unplayable. I have many a racing game that has licensed vehicles in it. There's one, I forget even the name of it. It was literally in the title of it. It was licensed by Ford. It was one of my favorite racing games on the PS2. I had a little racing wheel to use with it. It was really nice and fun. That game still works just fine. I can still play multiplayer with it in all of the intended ways, albeit it didn't have online multiplayer. But it also, given back in those days when a game released on console, it generally was unsupported from the moment it was released, basically. You might get lucky and a console game might have a later release of the same game that is a revised version. E.g. Ocarina of Time. The copy of the game I have has the removed vocalizations in it. I have the chanting in the temples. I have the Islamic symbols. The version I have and can play is an old version of the game. Darn it. I thought that was the 5th Bob. Like, this is my problem with the whole thing. Like, this is a new problem created out of greed and laziness. Like, if you just design your game intelligently, there won't be any extra monetary costs to releasing the code so that people can still play their games they purchased after you've stopped supporting them. Like, literally, all that's being asked is that the game be left in a playable state. And there has been countless examples of games that have released as full-priced products, full-priced games, that required an online service that have shut down. Some of those games, I would not be surprised, is if you went to the store, like a store in a back, a back town, out in the country, that you could probably still find on the store shelves and purchase, not knowing it's no longer even playable. Like, I grew up in the country. Like, the game stores in my hometown were still selling N64 games like they were brand new games when the Wii was coming out. Like, albeit that was in the mom and pop stores, but hey, guess what? We didn't even have a Walmart till around the time the Wii was coming out. Like, we didn't have a big game store, kind of. Calling Walmart a game store is a bit of a, like, and calling that Walmart big either is also a bit of an overstatement. Like, I wouldn't be, like, legitimately, my PSP, right here, I purchased new from my hometown's local Walmart when the PS4 was coming out. I'm not joking. This was on the shelves, being sold, sealed, brand new. It had never been opened because just simply not enough people bought them. The store still had it. They're not going to throw this away. Like, it was discounted. I think I got it for like $80. But, like, I still bought it brand new long after Sony had stopped producing the PSP. I think that was after the PS Vita had ceased support. Like, the fact that people can still purchase these games that no longer function, like, I would not be surprised if the Walmart and the town I grew up in the back, probably still had a few copies of Dust 514, even though you can no longer play that game in any capacity. Simply because CCP didn't want to port it to the PS4, and the PS3 was losing support. Like, that was it. It wasn't even so much that CCP wanted to exactly stop supporting the game. It was Sony was ceasing support of the PS3. So they couldn't realistically keep their game running. Because, they just simply couldn't. There wouldn't have been any support for it anymore. Which that in of itself is also a problem. It is a considerable problem that if Steam were to shut down tomorrow, I would lose access to tens of thousands of dollars worth of games. With there being no recourse. I would have absolutely... Oh, my inventory's full anyway. I would have absolutely no way of getting those games back should Steam shut down tomorrow. That is a problem. That is something that we should be addressing today, not after Steam shuts down in the future. You know. And part of that, as much as everyone, especially game developers, are probably going to hate hearing this, that's still not right. I'm gonna have to go back to some of my old videos and see about sorting it out. If any of y'all knows what note that should be, let me know. Because I feel like it's not the C. But like, the start of fixing that problem is the removal of DRM. Because part of the issue with anything on Steam, and why I would completely lose access to those games, isn't even so much that I wouldn't be able to download them anymore. A lot of Steam games require you to have an online connection to Steam for Steam Guard's DRM protection. Which is, for those who don't know, that is basically copyright protection. Anti-piracy measures, basically. Like, that's the root of this. That's how we start this. And I know the argument would be, oh, but the games industry would die with it. No, it wouldn't. It wouldn't. Like, y'all need to really stop and think back. If people pirating games was gonna kill the games industry, wouldn't you think back when the majority of video games were on cassettes that were easily copied? Or floppy disks that were easily copied? That the games industry would have died then? But it didn't. Funny thing that. Like, because this is even the thing, like, I don't want to get fully onto the piracy debate either, but, well, not either, but, like, at this point in time, but, like, I need to mention this, of, like, someone generally pirates a game for one of two reasons. One, they want to play the game, and just simply don't have the money to purchase it, thus you're not losing a sale, because they couldn't purchase it in the first place. Or two, they want to try your game because they're not sure if they were going to buy it anyway. And very likely, they're not going to buy it even after trying it, because they were unsure of it in the first place. Now, there is a third reason for pirating games, but that's more pirating old games and is specific to pirating old games. And that is, there's no other way of getting them anymore. If you're not going to sell me your game, I'm not going to feel bad about pirating it. If I have no way of giving the company that's publishing it and developing it money, I'm not going to feel bad about downloading it. Because quite simply, I cannot legally purchase the game anymore. So, where's the problem? The argument there is, but used game stores would go out of business. No, they wouldn't. People like me pirating an old game that's likely not even in a used game store, and even if it is, it's in that used game store for probably hundreds of dollars more than it's actually worth, isn't going to cause game stores to go out of business, or they would have already. Like, this whole thing is just frustrating to me, because I have spent so many years of my life studying game design, researching game history. Like, I know a good bit about gaming history. I mean, gestures at my little, fun fact I taught you guys a long while ago that some of the newer viewers may not know. You ever wonder why, even though everyone's right-handed, your control stick is always on the left? That was done to artificially inflate the difficulty of games. controllers are left-handed. Which is why if you ever see a product that is like a left-handed game controller, it's lying to you. What that product should be called is a right-handed game controller. Because by design, controllers are left-handed. You know, there's a lot of, probably, I would imagine, modern game developers that don't know that little tidbit of gaming history. But, you know, I've spent a good long time researching this stuff. I know how games are like. And, like, I'm not gonna say it would be easy. And, like, an example of someone brought up that I had to kind of rain on their parade a bit, and they didn't really defend their argument any, was they brought up the argument of, well, you know, would you expect Square Enix to just hand over the source code for their servers? It's already out there. It's already out there on an easily findable public website. Like, since you always help me out, I got you a little present. It's a melon shirt. Take it. It's all yours, Peppa Pig. We need to change that catchphrase. As soon as I saw it, I totally thought of you. Do I have any space left? I do not. I mean, I do have a lot of horseback rolls, which may as well be spaces, but... But, like, there's already private servers of Final Fantasy XIV. There basically has been almost since 2.0 launched, and there was already private servers of 1.0 when it was a thing. 2.0 being Rebirth. Like... It's very much one of those things of, it would not be difficult for Square Enix to just give people the ability to host their own private servers. Like, but this person's thing was, oh, that's only possible because someone clearly pirated and hacked the code. It's like, or the code just wasn't that secure to begin with. Like, I don't know the specifics of how 14 works, but given, you know, given there is the standalone benchmark, and there's the game, and there's files that download to your computer that can differentiate between you playing free-to-play and you playing pay-to-play, and the publicly available private server requires you to already have a client file of the version, like the one I saw that was publicly available is running like 3.3. You need a client of that, but they don't provide that client. You have to provide it yourself. That tells me that the majority of what's required to run a 14 server is hosted locally already. You already have basically everything you need to join private servers. You already have everything, you know. The only thing you need is a version that matches the version of the private server, basically. Like, it's very much one of those things where it would not be difficult for Square to do this, should they decide to shut 14 down. And this person's argument was, oh, well, there might be licensed code. It's like, or there could not be. Maybe that licensed code is owned by Square Enix. Square Enix is a pretty big company. And they basically, from what I understand, built 14 off the backbones of 11. So they probably were already using their own code. Their own code that they were comfortable enough to basically put on a PlayStation 2 disc and sell it. Like, you know, it's ignoring the point that this wouldn't be difficult. Like, and also, even, okay, let's assume there is licensed code within 14. 1, black box it. Ta-da, it's still protected. 2, games don't just shut down. You don't have the executive walking in and going, right, everyone's fired. It's usually, the developers know a good 6 months to a year before the games actually shut down that, yeah, they're probably shutting down. Because, and usually the community will know too, because that's usually when people start leaving and, you know, they're not replaced and there's sometimes layoffs and, you know, it's one of those things where they know they would have time to rewrite the code that's licensed in a way that it's no longer licensed. Like, you know, it's a skill we're taught in school called basically rewriting. You know, it's what you're supposed to do when you do research projects. You don't just copy paste what you find online. You have to rewrite it in your own words. And that makes it legally distinct. If you rewrite that licensed source code in your own, you know, your own coding, your own programming, it's no longer that licensed code anymore. Like, and even then, it does not take, even if you want to get rid of the licensed code that can't be just given out. What you could do is, because Square Enix knows what code that might be within their game, all they would literally have to do is go, right, here is the base binary files for the server, here are the dependencies you need the license to run a server. And then private servers would probably just pirate those dependencies anyway, because let's be real, that's probably what they would do. And the license holder of those dependencies probably wouldn't even notice. Like, that's ignoring that most of the licensed, you know, requirements tend to be things that are freely redistributable anyway. And if they're not, they're probably not being used by a big company. Like, they don't want to deal with those headaches. Like, I do apologize, this has been such a long rant, and my throat is really feeling this. But, like, I would very much love to see, you know, the games I own be playable in perpetuity. Keeping the stream about a seahorse. I think my subconscious is telling me I need one, but where would I find such a thing? You have one? A strange coincidence. Who's just saying awkward to be willing to some of yours? How much? Sounds good to me. Like, oh, it got away. You know what, just give me this shell. Because I'm gonna wrap up this bit. If I didn't finish a thought, let me know in the comments. And I'll finish it in a reply to, like, that being pointed out. But, like, long story short, the only real reason to oppose the Stop Killing Games initiative is if you're greedy or lazy. There's really no reason to oppose it. Unless you just really, really don't want people to own their games. And quite simply, I will say to Thor and Pirate Software, thank you for telling me I never want to purchase one of your games ever. I will do what your name implies, and if I ever even feel like playing one of your games, I'll pirate it. Doubt I ever will. I've never heard of you before. I don't know why I should even give a single major thought to anything you really have to say. The same as you don't have to care about what I have to say either. That's the fun thing about this. But thanks for letting me know you are anti-consumer and think more about yourself and your pocketbook than the people you are creating entertainment for. Like, quite simply, thanks for that. But yeah, thanks for listening to my rant, guys. I do apologize, it's a very long one. Today is very much a chonker episode. I'm expecting this to probably actually hurt my videos going forward a bit, because long videos tend to do that. Though sometimes they actually don't, because, like, there's enough of you guys, and I love you guys for this, that watch all the way through these videos. Like, I kind of want to do an experiment, if you guys would be willing to do this. Just type, like, seahorse in the comments if you've watched all the way through this. Like, I don't have direct analytics of how many people actually watch all the way through. If you don't want to comment, that's fine. Don't feel pressured to comment. You don't have to. Or just work seahorse into your comment if you leave one. Like, I just want to, like, brief experiment that. Like, but yeah. Thank you all very much for watching. But yeah, there's enough of you guys that do watch all the way through that, like, it actually sometimes helps when I do these longer videos, because my average view duration does go up because it's a longer video being watched all the way through. But yeah, I'm going to end this off here before I end up taking up more than an hour of you guys' time. So with that, I thank you all very much for watching, and hopefully I shall see you back here tomorrow for more Animal Crossing New Leaf Welcome Amiibo. See you all then.